Hi, I'm Rob Miletto and I'm an ecological consultant, and we're looking at habitats of principal importance. And today we're at Earls Hill Nature Reserve. It's a nice sunny day and hopefully I'll be able to show you what makes up lowland acid grasslands today. Lowland acid grassland is one of the 3 grassland types that we get in Shropshire. By its very name, it is acid in nature. The soils are slightly acidic and they do tend to grow on slopes, as you can see here, where the soils are thinner. You occasionally get them in the lowlands, and a good example, if you know Shropshire well, would be the areas around Heath. So how do we know when we're on acid soils? Well, the good news is you don't have to carry around any sort of chemical test kit. You can actually get a good indication by the plants that are growing around us. And the particular plants that we're looking for today are indicator plants, plants that are particularly indicative of lowland dry acid grassland. One of the plants is Heath bedstraw, and if you look here, all these tiny little white flowers, they're all Heath bedstraw. And if you look closely at them, they've got 4 tiny triangular petals. That's one of the distinctive features, and the other one is to look really closely at the leaves. The leaves are in little whorls around the stem. There's about 6 to 8 of them, all in little whorls. Think of it as a tiny little goosegrass. Remember that thing that grows in your garden and gets everywhere? This is a baby version of it basically, and this is one of the indicators that we're looking for. So another one is mousier hawkweed. From a cursory look, it looks a bit like a dandelion, but have a look under the flower and you can see the underside of some of the rays, the petals as they look like, are red, and the leaf itself, if you turn it upside down, it goes from green to almost white. So another indicator is a grass called sheep's fescue. This in theory is quite a tricky one to identify, but I'll give you some pointers. And if you look at this little square of turf here, you should be able to see that a lot of the grass leaves in here are really fine and needle-like. This is typical of fescues, and the flower is this one. One of the things about this grass that is reasonably distinctive is if I turn it, maybe if I turn it against my hand, you can see it looks grey-green from some angles. That's quite a good indicator. Another indicator is quite a tiny plant called sheep's sorrel. It is here, and you can see it's got little reddish flowers, and if you look closely, it is actually reminiscent of a dock. It is dock family, but it's much smaller, and it's got very distinctive leaves that have little bits that stick out at the base. So another indicator is this little tiny yellow flower called tomentil. Tomentil has got 4 yellow petals, each one slightly notched, and the leaves are split into either 3s or 5s. It's low growing, like many of the plants on lowland dry acid grassland, and you can see it's growing with another indicator here that we saw, Heath bedstraw. So you've seen some of the indicators that show acid grassland, and in particular lowland dry acid grassland, which is the habitat of principal importance that we're particularly interested in. Here on this nature reserve there's very little bracken, but don't be surprised if you also find stands of it under light coverings of bracken. Nothing too dense, but do have a look under bracken stands and see if you can find any indicators that we've seen today.